Welcome to Liz's Scrapping Studio. I'm Liz. Today I wanted to show you my crafting space. I thought it would be fun to walk through and show you how big my space is and how I'm storing some of my items. I will say that I am not the most organized person or the neatest person, especially when I'm scrapbooking. I tend to use any open surface available to me to spread out on. So this is probably the neatest that my room ever is. Usually in between projects, I do try to clean up the space. Uh, and even that is, I only get so far. So we're going to walk through, take a look at my space and show you how big it is. It's not the biggest space for sure. I'll walk through some of my storage and how I'm organized, and hopefully you'll get some ideas out of this that you can use in your space. So with that, I'm going to turn the camera around and we are going to take a look at the space and go through the details. All right, so this is my craft room slash office. This office space, or the space, is used for my husband's business as well as my craft space, and then the space that I also used when I worked in corporate. On the right-hand side is a built-in desk that is mostly for office paperwork, and on the left-hand side is where I have my craft items and my craft storage, and my dog has decided to join us. And also where I create when I do my videos. So I'm going to try and keep this as steady as I can, but there may be some bobbles. We're going to start over under the window here, and those are two Ikea KALLAX units, and at the top of those units I have my electronic machines. So I've got my die cutting machine for my metal dies and my embossing folders. I have a Cricut Joy Extra, and I have a Cricut Explorer 2. So the white KALLAX I just got because I didn't have enough space for all three of these machines. So I added this white KALLAX, which right now doesn't have anything in it, but it will shortly have more paper in it from the boxes that are underneath my desk that we'll see in a little bit. In the larger KALLAX unit is where I do have all of my papers stored. So this is all paper storage here. This paper storage is sectioned off into 4 different sections, has 4 different uses. The first section is where I have my cardstock, and my cardstock is sitting in totally Tiffany paper holders. These are the plastic paper holders that have the handles that pull out, and you can take these on the go if you want. The other thing that I added into these is the paper folders that she has, and these paper folders allow you to put a label at the top here, and then I can store my scraps in the paper folder, and then behind it is where I have the 12 by 12 cardstock. So every color has a section, has a paper holder, and has scraps in it, and then behind it is where I store all that extra stock. Below that is also more paper, and this paper is over here. These pieces here are other companies' papers that I have that I bought or I felt like I wanted to keep, that were things that I might use. And then this big paper packet is actually Disney paper because I have some Disney albums I needed to do, and I wanted to make it simple and just use paper that was already designed for Disney. I have more cardstock down here. These are all retired colors of cardstock. Same idea though. It has a paper folder or holder here that is labeled, has the scraps in it, and then behind it has my 12 by 12 cardstock. Those are all, again, also sitting in the totally Tiffany paper folders. The plastic pieces here are housing my overflow of paper from Close to My Heart's catalog. So these are all the pattern papers that I haven't either made my way to finish using or are brand new packages of paper. Going up to the next section here, it is also all of the papers from the catalogs, all the patterned papers from the catalogs. This used to be organized with the newest papers on this side all the way to the older papers on the far side. That's not the case anymore. But again, I have kept some of the embellishments with these papers if they are flat, and I've kept them in their original plastic bags that came to me from my orders. And then the last cubby down here is all the specialty cardstock, mix-in cardstock, and cut above kits. So this is going to have the glitter paper, is going to have the foil paper, is going to have any cardstock that had the UV coating, is going to have the mix-ins that come in every catalog, as well as any of the wood grain papers that we had, etc. So that lower section is set up for all of those other types of papers that are not cardstock or not part of a pattern paper kit that came in one of the catalogs. All right, so that's my paper as it is right now. Coming up here to the rolly cart that's just to the right of the KALLAX units. It's a 3-level rolly cart. And the top level is mostly pens and adhesives and scissors, cutting blades, things like that. Really, it's my junk drawer is the way I like to call it, because it really is just anything that I don't have space on top of my desk for, but I want to keep in a specific space. Again, I've got my rulers over here. I've got a Xyron. I've got sponges. I have palette knives. So again, just sort of a junk drawer of things. On the front, I do have 2 hanging cup holders that house, again, things that I'm probably using right away. It has things like my anti-static pouch. It has blending brushes. And then these are pens that I was using on a project that's on my desk. So those are just hanging there on the end. And then over on this side, I have another piece that hangs off that holds my paper towels for cleanup. All right, so if I come down to the next shelf, this shelf is all of my overflow of ink pads. So I don't have enough space on my desk for all my inks, all my ink pads, that is. And so this is where I house the ones that I don't use quite as often. So like my Versamark ink pads, and then just colors that maybe I don't reach for as often. The last shelf in this is housing my tri-blend markers and my mixed media and my pencils. So the tri-blend markers are also in totally Tiffany bags. So these are specific bags that are designed for the tri-blend markers that I have bought. I've got 3 of them because I have both sets, the deep blends and the essentials. And then I have a bunch of extras of some of the colors. And these are in a graduated, they have an insert that allows you to have a graduated level of the pens, so that they have 3 different heights. And I'll link all of the items that I have as storage components down below in my description so that you can see those. So I have 3 of those, and they're really easy to get the pens in and out of, and easy to carry and take along whenever I need to use them. The mixed media you can kind of see there in the back. That's back there as well. And then the last thing that I have are the pencils that we came out with this year. And this is just in a cheap dollar store pencil box. Nothing special about it. And I just cut up the boxes and put them, adhered them to the top of this particular pencil box. So I keep things down there as well. All right, so then moving further underneath my desk, you can see I have a number of pizza boxes here. So these are all boxes that I've got product in that I need to find a home for. So this is my overflow storage. Again, with having that new KALLAX unit, I will be able to move a lot of this over to that empty space so that I can clear out this space. And up there at the top, you can see the newest catalog Honey Bunny paper that I haven't really dug into yet. So again, extra paper, and most of this is paper. This is not like embellishments or things like that, or stamp sets. I pulled all those out. Most of this is just paper. All right, then I'm going to come over again, still under my desk, and I've got more of those boxes that I need to clear out and find a home for. And then I've got the boxes that have the album retreats in them that I need to finish. All right, so just pulling out a little bit, I have an KALLAX unit that I have some storage, I'm using as storage as well. So to start with the top here, the top drawer has my acrylic blocks, has my distress oxide inks, has foam tape and my used sponges, as well as some overflow of embellishments and my embossing powders. The next drawer down has more foam tape, stamp scrubber, has some cleaning cloths, but also has the replacement foam. What are those? The foam blending foams, and then I have a little case that I got. I'm not even sure where I got that, but it houses again the domes for the blending tools so that I can kind of keep them in a nice, neat organizational package. The next drawer down has my daubers, my foam daubers, has the stamping foam over there, has the Wander from a couple of years ago. It's a project I needed to finish. And then I do have a scoreboard here as well. The next drawer down has just some sticker paper that I can use for print and cuts, as well as I've got the Misty Corners. The next drawer down has the new Sizzix cutter and scoreboard. And the last drawer has some t-shirts, blanks, another scoreboard, and then Fisker's rail trimmer there. So that's what's in that. I am hanging my heat gun underneath just as a nice place to have it, and it's plugged into the wall, so it's really convenient to have that. All right, so we're going to move up and we're going to go vertical. So right above the rolly cart, I have put hooks on the wall to hold my paper trimmer and to hold my larger Misty, and a mat, a cutting mat that I can use. And I can also put my iPad where the Misty is as well when I'm doing filming and I want to see, if there's any comments or things. Going vertical, I have a shelf. On that shelf, I have some charging ports that I can use. I've got my baby wipes. But the big thing that's here is that I have these scrapbook.com containers or holders for my liquid pearls and for my stickles. So I've got those sort of organized in there and able to see what colors I have to use. And then right above that, I do have one of the holders for the blending brushes. That's part of the new catalog. I also have my lights here. So these are lights so that I have enough light down on my desk for when I am creating or filming. I do have a holder for my phone for filming here. And then I also have some of these little containers for pieces that I'm using while I'm creating layouts or cards so that I can keep everything organized. I've got a little photo trimmer there, and I've got the mini Misty there as well. All right, so coming down below that, I do have our Workspace Wonders, so the Close to My Heart Workspace Wonders. And this is housing a number of embellishments and inks and adhesives and things like that. So here at the top, you can see I've got my adhesives. I've got a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the holders for my ink pads. Up above that, I've got our dots and our gems and our these embellishments that are all those types of embellishments for enhancing our layouts. Coming across, I've got shimmer trim. And then below that, I have our embellishments, and I've taken them out of their packages and put them in our embellishment holders, or circle embellishment holders. So instead of having ribbon here, I've just put in all of those embellishments. Going across, I just have another cubby for more of the blending brushes. I didn't have enough space in the tool holder up above. And then just another little basket that I can use to hold things and keep them organized. Then if I come across this way, again, I've got another one of these little baskets to hold things, or containers. I've got my story deck with stories by Stacy, some sample things that I was playing around with, and pictures that I might want to put on scrapbook pages, all sitting in there. And then here's a book that I'm reading, Make Art That Sells. And these are blending brushes that need to be cleaned, so I've just got them set aside here until I get a chance to clean those up so I can use them for something else. If I go a little bit further to the right over onto that built-in desk, I do have a container here that is housing my most current stamp sets. So this is an Ikea container, and this just allows me to have the most current stamp sets out and available that I might be using for projects with the newest catalog. And then if I go up, I do have a cabinet that I am using as well. And this cabinet has all of my catalogs or magazines or things that I've kept over the years with Close to My Heart or other publications for reference. I have Make It From Your Heart volumes 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I have Love of Color and Storyteller by Stacy. And I think this big gray one is the Melissa Esplin lettering. And then I've got some smaller albums that I will hopefully be filling up. All right, so that's the cabinet. We're going to come back around here, and you can see that I use this space for my creating. So I have a multi-purpose mat, and then I have the Versa mat here as well. And right now I'm working on Love Notes. I made all the cards for Love Notes, but I had a lot of paper left over, so I'm trying to use it up. So I'm modifying slightly the workshop to match the papers that I have available, as well as the fact that I didn't buy the sticker sheet for Love Notes, so I'm using the stamp set and the die cuts instead of the sticker sheet. So that's the top of my desk. If I come around to the other side of the window, I have a bookcase that is also from IKEA, a little Billy bookcase. Up above, I have the home there. And I have two more of these IKEA pieces that are housing things like extra shakers, windows, and foam tape, and embellishments. Again, a lot more embellishments in here that didn't make it to the desk. I've got my P&L cards, Picture My Life cards back here. I've got some adhesives. And same thing with this one. This one has, again, more embellishments. It has some ribbon back there. And then there's some really tall embellishments there at the back as well. In the first shelf, I have more stamp sets and dies. Most of those stamp sets are the alphabet stamp sets that I have. And then these are the dies that don't have any stamps that go with them. So it's going to be the tabs and the tags and the circles and the squares and those things. And then I have the large alphabet set there as well. There's one more basket in here. This also has embellishments in it. So these are much older embellishments, things I have to go through, decide what I might want to donate or if I'm going to use them. And then I have boxes of pictures down here at the bottom. The last section is in my closet here. And this closet is overflow. So this closet has albums that either are partly being filled or are ones that I'm going to be using. I've got my stencils in here. In this folder, I've got some Christmas layouts in that one. I've got my page protectors here. I've got my cards and envelopes. I have washi tape and vinyl. So all of that's sitting here. And then on this shelf, it's mostly, again, overflow. It's my extra adhesive, my extra glitter pens or Cricut items or things like that. That's all back here. And over here on the right, I have, again, some more of these scrapbook.com containers to hold my re-inking pieces that the re-inkers that I have. I've got my block holder. These are some older totally Tiffany containers that I was using for those pens, but didn't really work. So I'm going to try to repurpose those. My inks that are retired here. So again, just a lot of extra stuff. Again, these are also page protectors and flip flaps and things like that. Then coming down to the next level, I've got my Cricut mats here hanging on the wall. Again, those were with 3M hooks, so those are hanging. And then I've got this rolly cart that is from the Container Store. This cart is an extra narrow cart, but it perfectly fits all of our stamps. And so these are all of the stamp sets that I have. I do have 2 other containers that are specific for Christmas, but not in this particular space, but they are here. But I've got 2 of these that are used to hold my stamps. And then at the bottom, I've got more of my vinyl and some overflow of things. I have my plastic bags that I tried to save so that I can use them for shipping. And that's pretty much this closet. So it's a big overflow section. All right, so just coming back out to this to show you the end. So this space is 6.5 wide, so 6.5 feet this direction by 11.5 long, just to give you some perspective. Thank you for walking through the space with me. Hopefully you got some ideas of ways that you can store things or ideas about what might work in your space. I will leave all of the items that I've talked about for storage that I use down below in the description in case you're interested in looking at those items in particular. And if there was anything that I didn't cover that you have a question about or a question about the storage that I'm using, please leave that question below and I will be happy to answer that. And I hope to see you on the next video. And if you would like to be a subscriber, I'd love to have you for my videos. I'm going to be working on some new layout videos coming up here, hopefully in the next weeks. So would love to have you join us and enjoy seeing what I create. Have a great one. See you on the next video, everyone.